Hi and welcome to Amanda Harwood Holistic. I'm obviously Amanda. Thanks if you're coming back. Welcome if you are new to this page. I'm here today to give the June reading. I know, June already, halfway through the year. I can't believe how fast this year is going. Before we start, I just want to say that I'm using the Wandering Star Tarot by Cat Pierce. Sorry, I don't know why I always say Cat Divine. This is my favorite tarot deck at the moment. And we'll also be doing a card at the end of the reading from Rebecca Campbell's The Rose Oracle, which is another one of my favorite decks. Lastly, before we start, I just want to say that this is a general reading. So if what I'm saying today doesn't resonate with you, just stop the video and move on with your life. This is not going to resonate with everybody. However, if it does resonate with you, I would love to hear about it in the comments, either on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel. You can also contact me via my website, which is amandaharwoodholistic.com. And you can go there too for my blog posts, which I try and post at least once a month. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so for the first two cards that we've got in the overview position, we've got two very, I class them as very positive cards. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Wands. Now, if you've been on this channel for a little while, you will know that aces usually symbolize new beginnings. In regards to the pentacles are an earth card or earth suit, and they represent things like finances, careers, home life, health, that type of thing. So this means that June is going to be a very prosperous month for you to start a business, to start a new career, to maybe think about moving to a career that you hadn't thought of if you're feeling a bit bored by what you're doing right now. And it could also mean that you could come into property or buy a new home or move, that type of thing. The King of Wands, he's a very charismatic leader, and he knows that he can achieve his goals when he has intent. So he's very much a leader that rules from his intuition, but he's also about learning as well. So having mentors and guides and being wise enough to know that you never ever know everything, that there is always something to learn. And he's very good to go with the Ace of Pentacles, because if you can live your life with intent and work hard, as the King of Wands does, you are sure to succeed in whatever new project you're going to start this month. Now, he also is a bit of a social butterfly, or he's not so much a social butterfly, but he understands the social necessities that you sometimes need to do to get things moving. So he's willing to schmooze the clientele or the business partners to get to where he wants to go, but not in a malicious or a win-lose sort of way. He's very much about everybody getting what they want. So when we drill down into this information, I actually have two cards, the Tower card, which is a Major Arcana card, and I have a card that is only pertinent to this deck that I'm using. She's not really part of the tarot deck, but she's called the Creator. Now, if we were asking a yes or a no question, the Creator stands for no. When I saw these two cards, I was like, how does this pertain to the overview of what we've just seen, which is all about new beginnings and a prosperous season? So I drew a clarification card for the Tower card, and I got another Major Arcana card, the High Priestess. So this immediately told me that this is about spiritual awakening. This is about letting go of those old beliefs. And I know that I've sort of harped on about this since the beginning of the year, but this is the year for it. Do it, so that abundance can come into your life, so that you can start to lead the life that you want to lead. So the Tower card is usually about destruction. I always associate the Tower card with There is something you need to do, something you need to end, and you're not doing it. So now the universe has come in and taken it from you or moved you forward so that you can keep going, because the universe has its own agenda. It sees what you can't see. And so sometimes we need the Tower card to come in and destroy what we've been hanging on to dearly, and setting us up for a new opportunities or a new way of living. So there could be some pain there if you haven't already started to release, which having the Tower card tells me that you haven't. And because the High Priestess was as the clarification card, she's about spirituality, she's about feminine power, yes, for even you men as well. She's about the sacred masculine, which is a whole other video. And she's about using your intuition. She's about opening up to source. She's about connecting to the wisdom, the ancient wisdom that has been handed down through our DNA for generation after generation, in particular with women. I'm sorry, guys, but this is a particularly feminine card. But she does talk about that type of thing. She also talks about listening to our inner voice, connecting with the spirit realm. And when I talk about that, I'm not talking about deceased loved ones. I'm talking about source, higher consciousness, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. So this card is really about, there's going to be an epiphany, and it could be quite a painful epiphany. Although when you get to the other side, you're most probably going to go, okay, I see why I went through that, because I couldn't start this until I'd gone through that. So try and keep that in mind when you're going through the shit. Now, the Creator card is, as I said, very particular to this deck. There are two cards. There is the Creator card, and there is the Mother Star, which means in a yes or no question would mean yes, and the Creator card, which we've drawn here today, means no. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to read what Kat Pierce has put in, because it's just perfect. So it says, the Creator card signifies that there is a powerful energy brewing in the atmosphere around you. This would be the Tower energy. It may feel overwhelming and tinged with undertones of darkness. Indeed, you may feel the urge to run and find shelter from this storm, but trust that you are ready to transmute this force into something that will propel you forward on the path. This card is also here to remind you of the power of the word no. No to things that overwhelm or undermine you. No to people who drain your life force. No to thoughts that drag you into despair. You are mightier than you think. And a glimmer of faith paired with solid intention, which is going back to the King of Wands, can give you the power to harness lightning. Each day you have the choice to be the victim of fear and circumstance, or the creator of a new consciousness. Choose wisely. How perfect is that? So basically, she is reiterating the Tower card. She's going, yep, shit is coming. Get ready, batten down the hatches. But she's saying that the universe never gives us anything or never sends anything our way that we are not ready to handle. And I know when you're in the thick of things that you can think that's a load of bullshit, but it's true, because so far we've handled it and we're still here. So when we get down into this, the brilliant new beginnings that we've got coming, we have to do a bit of work beforehand before we can move forward in that way. And that's mostly because we've been dragging our feet. So what are the challenges coming up for this month? In this position, we've actually received two really positive cards. We've got the Ten of Pentacles and we've got the Four of Wands. Now, both of these cards feel very familiar to me, so about family. And I feel like maybe the challenges for this month is that you might be pulled and pushed in different directions because of the wants and needs of your family or your people who you class as your family. The Ten of Pentacles is a very auspicious card for people who have worked hard and set up a financial foundation for themselves, and this card says, you are here, you've arrived. You can rest easy just for a little while, because we all know that change is constant. But it's saying this is wonderful. It can also mean inheritance coming through. It can talk about maybe buying a new property, that type of thing. So there could just be that push and pull where you're going through this spiritual stuff, these epiphanies, and you're awakening spiritually. Maybe you're up leveling, and you're trying to maybe start that project that you've been wanting to start for ages. And then the challenge is that you're also going to have these other pulls on your time and your energy, mostly from family. Now, the Four of Wands is a very positive card. It's about celebration. It's about union. So it could possibly stand for a wedding or a familial type event where you have to feel the need that you have to actually go. It also talks about having the freedom to be your true creative self. Now, that could mean being actually creative with art or drawing or craft or whatever, but it could also mean about your creative self in here, where you are co-creating with the universe. So this could, to me, this, just as I was drawing these cards, the energy come through that once again, there may be that push-pull of you wanting to do other stuff, but you need to deal with the details of this month, which is your spiritual awakening and going through some shit, basically. So the challenge is to try and keep that balance. Lastly, in this layout, we have what opportunities are being sent to you. And we have another Major Arcana card. We have Justice, and then we have the Queen of Wands. She's the partner to the King of Wands, which was at the overview part of this spread. So these cards to me are really, really positive as well. The Queen of Wands, she is all about being inspirational. She is an inspiration to the people around her. She has the courage to speak up. She's unafraid to speak her truth. She is an inspiration to people because she lives the way she wants to live. She lives with intent, just like the King of Wands, and she knows what she needs to get to where she wants to go. She's also very good at living her life through her passion. Sorry, I just had to stop that because my computer was about to reboot to do an update. As I was saying, the Queen of Wands, she is not afraid to speak her truth. And she's also letting you know that it's okay to stand in the limelight now. This is your time. Okay, so don't be afraid to speak your truth. If you're having a hard time because of the Tower card and the Creator card, speak to someone about it. I personally find blogging a very good way to let that stuff out of my out from within, so that I don't repress it and keep it in there, and it becomes a physical ailment. So this card is giving you permission to stand in the limelight, to accept the applause. Now the Justice card is all about finding balance. So this is an opportunity for you to work balance into your life. It could also physically mean that if you're in a legal action at the moment, it could mean that there will be an outcome, which most of the time this card will mean it's in your favor. However, we do have a Tower card in the reading, so don't just take that with a grain of salt. But she is all about balance. Okay, she's also about karmic resolutions. So she could also stand for the fact that maybe you're receiving some of your karma at the moment, which are really, as I've said before in a previous video, it's not about doing good so getting good or doing bad so getting bad. It's more about the lessons that we learn by what we do, and understanding the law of the universe that says when you do this, you have to suffer the consequences. There is a reaction for every action. So she is a bit like that as well. So there are opportunities for you to bring that balance back into your life. If you feel like the Tower card has been quite trying for you this month, then the Justice card is saying, well, why don't you do a bit of good? And the thing is that it has to be good where you expect nothing back. Often people will do stuff and they think, well, if I do this, this person will do this for me, or if I do this, I will get this accolade, that type of thing. Karma is more about just doing stuff for the sake of doing it. Just doing it because you want to do it, not because you're expecting something out of it. So maybe you need to volunteer or spend some time with an elderly parent or a grandparent or with a friend that you've been neglecting, that type of thing. And these things benefit you as well, even if you think they don't. So they're the opportunities for you. Don't be afraid to live your truth. Don't be afraid to stand in the limelight. And it's time to get some balance back into your life and maybe look at some of your karma that's coming in and what you can do to balance it out a bit more. So that's it for the main reading for June. So I think we're going to have a pretty good month, but I think there are going to be a few trying times for a lot of us there as we just, keep working on that process, keep working on releasing those beliefs and blocks that are holding us back from being our true self. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a card from Rebecca Campbell's The Rose Oracle, and I'm just going to ask what message does Spirit have for us for this month, June 2024. So what message does Spirit have for us for June 2024? Okay, so this card is Sub Rosa, and it talks about things that are hidden in plain sight. It talks about the mysteries and about learning and teaching. So once again, this card is very much connected to the Creator and the Tower card that we had in the details section of the previous reading. So I'm going to read what that is because I really like the way Rebecca Campbell puts her words together. And let's see how it pertains to our June reading. So it says, the rose has been a symbol of secrecy for millennia. The ancient Romans wore rose garlands on special occasions, and when these were hung above important meeting places, the conversations that took place beneath were considered sub rosa, or under the rose. It was understood that things said under the rose would be kept secret and not repeated. There's also an image of the ancient Egyptian god Horus sitting with a rose, holding his finger to his lips, symbolizing silence about the deep mysteries. The phrase sub rosa may have its origins in ancient Greece, where in 477 BCE, a secret negotiation took place in a building attached to the temple of Minerva, who is the person seen on the card. On the building's roof was a rose garden, hence sub rosa. Another otherworldly theory of the phrase's origin is linked to Eros, who is said to have bribed Hippocrates, the Greek god of silence and secrecy, with a rose to persuade him to remain silent on the affairs of the gods. This card represents the great mysteries that are available to us to uncover and remember, secrets that are waiting to be found, teachings that your soul might be ready to learn. Look beyond what your eyes can see and dig a little deeper. You're here to uncover lost wisdom, ancient secrets, and deep mysteries. Are you being called to study the great mysteries, to live the great questions and step into your role as a teacher, guide, or mystic? Are you being called to question things and unearth the truths unknown? The soul inquiry for this card is, what are you being called to study, learn about more, or unearth? So this card is very much connected to the Tower and the Creator card, and the High Priestess, which was the clarification card, if you remember. And it's about taking the time to learn those deep secrets that I spoke about, that have been passed down through us, through our DNA, not necessarily through generation to generation, because not all women pass that information on once patriarchy came into view, because they were scared for their lives and scared for their families, basically. So it's passed down through us. The universe is self-sustaining. Sorry, I'm just getting on my soapbox here. The universe is self-sustaining. So if humans block the universe's way of getting information across, it will just find something else. So when men come into power and they started to subvert women and make them unimportant in society, the universe had to find another way to pass the ancient wisdom down through the line. And so what it did was it passed it down through our DNA. Now, I know some of you are going, well, that sounds like a whole load of hogswash. And for some of you, it may be. But I know myself, my family, the women that came before me in my family were not spiritual at all. They were very pragmatic, very black and white, very much part of the societal demands that were expected of women in those times. And I know through my meditation, through my study of the mysteries and that as I learn things, I start to remember other things as well. So I know that it has to be a part of my DNA, because there's no other way that I could know some of these things, because I haven't learnt them through books. So this is very much about that Tower card. It's about opening your eyes and seeing what is right in front of you, and not necessarily physically, but spiritually. Okay, well, that's it for June. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you had a great May, because we were going to have a much more positive May. I know myself, I've had a much more positive month, and things have started to move forward. I can feel that energy coming through where we're starting to move forward. Not really looking forward to what other things have to come through with that Tower card, but having had a rest in May from having shit hit the fan all the time, I actually feel a lot stronger and feel that I'm ready to take on more if it's going to get me to where I want to go. And I hope that you are having that feeling as well. Okay, so thank you very much for sticking through to the end. Have a great June. And if you like this video, please press like. If you're on my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe, and that will, if you press the notification button as well, that will let you know when I've put a new video up. I don't put out lots and lots of videos, so because I know everybody's busy, you don't have time to watch 50 million videos a month. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment box below, either in the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So have a great June. Be ready for the storm. It's going to come, but that's okay. We can handle it. We're tough. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.